You wake up, and the first thing your hand reaches for isn't water. It isn't light. It's your phone. You tell yourself you're just going to check something real quick. Maybe the time. Maybe one notification. Maybe you just want to see if anyone texted you overnight. 15 minutes later, you're still on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube Shorts, and your brain already feels a little fried before the day has even started. You haven't even gotten out of bed. You haven't stood up, but your brain has already run a full race. Then your day starts. Maybe you're getting ready for 9 to 5. Maybe you're trying to get to class on time. Maybe you're juggling a job and a side hustle. You open your laptop, and your phone slides right next to it, like a second screen. You tell yourself, I'll put it face down so I'm not distracted. But as soon as you hear a vibration or see the screen flash from the corner of your eye, your hand moves on its own. You answer a text while your email loads. You check a DM while your meeting link opens. You scroll one more short while your professor sets up the projector. By 3 p.m., your attention span feels like it's been chopped into pieces. You're tired and wired at the same time. You've done a lot of stuff, but you don't feel like you've really been present for any of it. And then at night, after work or class, when you finally get into bed, you're exhausted, but you still can't put the phone down. Your body wants rest. Your brain wants one last hit. You tell yourself just a few minutes to unwind. You scroll through other people's vacations, other people's bodies, other people's wins, other people's drama. An hour disappears, sometimes more. You put your phone down, and now your brain is buzzing. You try to sleep, but it feels like your thoughts are stuck in fast forward. If any part of that feels uncomfortably accurate, you are not alone, and this video is for you. You're not addicted because you're weak. You're not scrolling all day because you're dumb, lazy, or broken. You are living in the world where billion-dollar companies are literally paying scientists to figure out how to keep you hooked. They make money when you can't look away, and your brain is just trying to cope. So this isn't going to be one of those throw your phone in the ocean or delete everything and disappear for 90 days talks. You probably have group chats you need. You probably use maps, email, banking apps, maybe even work apps. Your phone isn't the enemy. The issue is how you're using it and how it's quietly reshaping your brain. What you need is not punishment. You need a realistic, modern digital dopamine detox that fits inside a normal life with a job, classes, friends, rent, and responsibilities. Think of this as a software patch for your brain, not a factory reset, just the updates that make the system stable again. To do that, you need to understand what's actually going on in your head. Your brain runs on a reward chemical called dopamine. Dopamine isn't evil. You actually need it. Dopamine is what makes you feel a pull toward good things, enjoying your favorite meal, laughing with friends, hitting a fitness milestone, finishing a project you're proud of, solving a hard problem at work or in class. Dopamine lights up when your brain expects a reward. It's less about pleasure and more about motivation and anticipation. The problem isn't dopamine. The problem is that modern apps are designed to hit that system over and over again with very little effort on your part. Every swipe on TikTok, every recommended short, every notification, every pull to refresh on Instagram or X, every time you see those 3 little dots that means someone is typing, all of these are tiny maybe rewards. Maybe this video will be funny. Maybe this message will be important. Maybe this post will give me a hit of drama or validation. Your brain loves maybe. Maybe keeps you hooked. And when your brain learns that it can get rapid, unpredictable dopamine hits by just tapping a glass rectangle, your baseline changes. Normal life starts to feel flat. Studying feels flat. A textbook page with no notifications isn't competing. Sitting through a meeting without a phone? Torture. Even hanging out with friends, if nobody's on their phone, can feel slow. Over time, your brain gets used to high-frequency, low-effort stimulation. It expects intensity for free. So when you sit down to write an essay, or push through a boring assignment at work, or even cook a meal without a show in the background, your brain says, "Why are we doing this? There's a much easier way to feel good. And that's the moment your hand reaches for your phone, almost without your permission. Again, that's not a moral failure. That's wiring plus environment. A digital dopamine detox is not no more dopamine. It's about helping your brain remember how to enjoy slower, simpler forms of reward again. Instead of chasing a hit every 10 seconds, you help your brain relearn how to stay with one thing long enough to feel real satisfaction. Not, I will never touch my phone. More like, I refuse to let my phone be the DJ of my nervous system. To do that, you don't need a perfect monk lifestyle. You need 3 ingredients. 1, a few no-phone spaces. 2, a few low dopamine blocks. 3, a simple 7-day reset you can actually finish. Let's break those down. Right now, your phone probably lives in every room of your life. It's in your bed, on your pillow, under it, on the nightstand glowing all night long. It's in the bathroom while you scroll on the toilet or in the shower. It's at the dinner table, next to your plate, next to your coffee, next to your friends. It's on the desk while you're studying, piled on top of your notebook like an extra brain that constantly wants attention. So the first rule of a digital dopamine detox is not delete all your social media. It's much simpler and much more powerful. Create no phone spaces. Not all day, not forever, just specific places and moments where your brain can rest without being pinged. For example, no phone in bed. This one change alone is huge. When your bedroom becomes a place for sleep, reading, or calm, and not a place for endless scrolling, your brain slowly relearns that bed equals wind down, not bed equals optional second shift online. No phone in the bathroom. You'd be surprised how much time disappears on the toilet or in the shower with the excuse of, I'm just killing time. Let your brain be bored for 5 minutes. It's okay. No phone at the dinner table. When you eat with a screen, your brain barely registers the meal. You miss the chance to let your mind wander, to actually taste your food, or to connect with whoever is around you. No phone for the first 30 minutes after waking. No phone for the last 30 minutes before sleep. You don't need to do all of these. Pick any 2 and commit to them for a week. You might think, 2? That's nothing. I need something more hardcore. That voice is perfectionism talking. The same voice that says, if I can't go to the gym for an hour, there's no point working out. The 1% focus philosophy is the opposite. What is the smallest change that actually alters my day? If you simply stop scrolling in bed and stop scrolling in the bathroom, you've probably removed hundreds of micro-dopamine hits a week. That gives your brain more quiet, more stillness, more space. That matters more than a 3-day extreme detox that you'll abandon by the weekend. Rule 2. Low dopamine blocks. Right now, your day is probably built like a mosaic of tiny fragments. Work for 5 minutes, check phone. Study for 10 minutes, check phone. Watch a show, second screen with your phone. Hang out with friends, everyone checking their phones between sentences. There's almost no point in the day when your brain gets to sink into a single activity for 20 to 30 minutes without input from a screen. Think of your attention like a muscle. If you constantly lift 1-pound weights 500 times a day, your muscle gets tired, but not strong. That's what happens when you feed your brain small bursts of stimulation all day long. You get mentally exhausted without building real focus. A low dopamine block is a short period of time where you deliberately do something calm, simple, and not algorithm-driven, with no phone. You're not chasing stimulation, you're letting your brain breathe. Examples: a 20-minute walk in your neighborhood or local park without your phone, or with your phone on airplane mode and no headphones. Reading 10 to 15 pages of a physical book, not a PDF on your laptop. Paper, ink, the slow turning of a page. Journaling for 10 to 20 minutes about how your day went, what you felt, what you're grateful for, what stressed you out. Doing one easy household task like cleaning your room, washing dishes, folding laundry, or organizing your desk. A simple workout, push-ups, squats, stretching, anything that moves your body without a screen.
None of these things are Instagrammable. They're not flashy. And that's the point. In a digital dopamine detox, These are the moments that help your brain recalibrate from constant novelty to gentle focus. For your detox, you'll schedule one 20-minute low dopamine block per day. You can do more if you want, but the rule is 20 minutes, no phone, one simple activity. If you genuinely believe you don't have 20 minutes, check how much screen time says you spend on your phone every day. Chances are, there's a spare 20 minutes in there somewhere. Third ingredient, the 7-day reset. You don't need a 30-day boot camp. You need 7 honest days where you change a few key things and watch your brain react. Let's bring back Alex. Alex is 26, works a 9-to-5 in an office or remote job, has student loans and rent to worry about, scrolls to decompress after work, and tells themselves, "At least I'm not going out and spending money." Screen time report, around 6 hours a day on the phone, mostly social media, YouTube, and random browsing. They feel constantly tired, behind, and weirdly numb. Alex decides to try a 7-day digital dopamine detox. No app deletions, no throwing the phone away, just this. Day 1. Alex chooses 2 no-phone spaces. No phone in bed, no phone at the dinner table. That night, they eat dinner at the table with no screen. It feels awkward. Food tastes different. Silence feels loud. But they get through it. Before bed, they plug the phone into a charger across the room. For the first time in a long time, Alex goes to sleep without a screen in their hand. Day 2. Alex sets up their first low dopamine block, a 20-minute walk after work. The urge to put on a podcast or scroll is strong. They feel restless for the first 5 minutes, but as they keep walking, their brain slowly starts paying attention to things it usually ignores. The sky, birds, trees, the sound of traffic, their own thoughts. By the time they get home, they feel calmer. Not transformed, just slightly less clenched. Day 3. Alex turns on screen time and sets app limits. 90 minutes total for social media. Enough to still be connected, but not enough for a 6-hour spiral. They hit the limit earlier than they expect. That moment is uncomfortable. The brain says, just ignore the limit, just tap extend. But Alex decides to sit with the discomfort for a few minutes. They don't always win. Sometimes they hit 15 minutes more, but for the first time, scrolling has friction. Day 4. Alex puts their phone on grayscale for the whole day. Suddenly, Instagram looks dull. TikTok looks dull. Their home screen looks like an old TV. It's still usable, but it's less shiny. They notice something interesting. When the colors vanish, so does some of the urge to keep scrolling. Throughout the day, Alex catches their hand reaching for the phone and asking, "Do I really want to open this right now?" That question alone is a huge win. Day 5. Alex chooses one project that matters to them, not to their boss, to them. Maybe it's studying for a certification. Maybe it's building a small business idea. Maybe it's working on a creative hobby, music, writing, art. They schedule one 25-minute deep focus block. Phone in another room, laptop with only 1 or 2 tabs, timer set. For 25 minutes, they commit to boredom, frustration, and effort instead of escape. That block is not perfect. Their mind wanders. They think about checking their phone. They stare at the screen, but they do not quit. When the timer rings, they've made real progress on something they care about. For the first time in a while, their brain feels a different kind of reward. Day 6. Alex practices a boredom buffer. Every time they notice the urge to grab their phone, in line, in the elevator, during a commercial, they wait 30 seconds. Just 30 seconds. Sometimes they still check after the wait. Sometimes they forget. But they're building a tiny gap between impulse and action. That gap is where freedom lives. Day 7. Alex opens his screen time report. It's not perfect. There are still long days. There are still late-night scrolls. But overall, their average daily time is down by 1 to 2 hours. They've added a daily walk, 1 deep focus block, and 2 no phone spaces without quitting technology. Their brain feels lighter, less buzzing, more able to sit with one thing. They're not a monk. They haven't moved to a cabin in the woods. They still use social media, they still watch YouTube, but they've proven something to themselves. They can make their phone fit their life instead of building their life around their phone. You can do this too. Here is your 7-day digital dopamine detox, step by step. Day 1. Choose 2 no phone spaces. Write them down. Put a sticky note somewhere you'll see it. Tell someone you live with. Day 2. Add 1 20-minute low dopamine block. Walk, read, journal, stretch, or clean. No phone in your hand. Day 3. Turn on screen time or digital well-being. Set limits on your top 3 time sync apps. Choose limits that feel strict but survivable. Day 4. Switch your phone to grayscale for the full day. Experience how weirdly different everything feels. Day 5. Schedule 1 25-minute deep focus block for something that matters to you. Phone in another room. Timer on. Day 6. Practice the 30-second boredom buffer whenever you want to grab your phone. Day 7. Review your week. Look at your screen time. Ask, what changed? How do I feel? What one habit do I want to keep? That's it. You do not need to keep all 7 habits forever. You only need to keep the ones that gave you the biggest sense of relief, clarity, or control. Maybe it's no phone in bed. Maybe it's the daily walk. Maybe it's the deep focus block. Maybe it's leaving your phone in another room when you eat. Remember, this is not about being perfect. This is about being 1% better. 1 less scroll in bed. 1 more 20-minute walk. 1 more deep focus block. 1 more tiny pause before you open an app. Over a week, that feels small. Over a month, it feels noticeable. Over a year, it genuinely rewires your brain. You are not broken. You're not doomed to be addicted to your phone forever. You're a human being living in an environment designed to overstimulate you. You didn't choose that environment, but you can choose how much power it has over you. If you're still here, your 1% move for today is simple. Pick 1 rule from this video and commit to it for the next 7 days. Just 1. Then go to the comments and finish this sentence. I'm becoming the kind of person who, with my phone. I'm becoming the kind of person who can leave my phone in another room. I'm becoming the kind of person who controls when I scroll. I'm becoming the kind of person who can focus without checking notifications. Write your version. Say it out loud once. Lock it in. If this helped you see your phone and your focus a little differently, tap like so more people can find it. Subscribe to the 1% Focus if you want more calm, practical systems for getting 1% better every day without fake hustle culture. And if you have a friend you always see scrolling next to you in class or at work, send this to them. You don't even have to say anything. Just, saw this and thought of us. Your attention is not infinite. It's one of the most valuable things you own. Treat it like it matters, because it does.